In previous class, we have discussed the assumptions of conventional economics and assumptions of Islamic economics. And we try to understand what is the difference between these two systems, because after understanding the difference between these two systems, it would be possible for us to truly understand the Islamic financial system working under the umbrella of capitalism. So first of all, in today's lecture, let me define about the let me define the riba. That what is riba? Actually, the Holy Quran just said that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has prohibited riba. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala just announced that riba is prohibited, but the definition of a riba was not provided in the Holy Quran. The explanator of the Holy Quran, the ulama and scholars, they said that because there was no need of a definition defining the riba at the time of revelation of Holy Quran, because the people were practicing in their society. And so this, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala said that riba is prohibited. So that society got that what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala was prohibiting. But at that time, we find various ahadith and juristic debate in narrations which makes clear that what is the definition of the riba. So actually the riba word mean increase. The jurists defined the riba that in the matter of any stipulated additional quantity in the contract of exchange of assets is a riba. So according to jurists, that riba is actually riba emerge in the case of sales as well as in loans. I will also explain what is the difference between sale and loan. For the time being, we have, let's define the riba. Actually, there is a big debate in the contemporary scholars of this time. They differentiate riba into two types. They say that riba nasiya and riba al-Fadl. And according to the modern economists, they say that riba nasiya, it is emerged in case of loans or debts, and riba al-Fadl, it is involved in sales contract. Whereas the Hanafi jurists and a majority of the scholars, they do not differentiate riba, and they do not categorize riba in these two ways, that riba in sales and riba in loans. The majority of jurists say that riba is mutlaq, riba is general. In general, it is prohibited, because actually, according to Hanafi jurists and other jurists, sale is one type of riba. Sorry, sale is one type of loan is one type of sale. Loan is one type of sale according to the jurist. How? So that let me hear something for you. It will make clear. according to the jurists, that one sale is that subject matter and price are delivered at the. So there are four types of sales according to jurists. One, subject matter. Subject matter means the asset being sold or purchased, and the price are delivered at the spot. Seller deliver the subject matter and buyer deliver the price. Nothing is defer. Everything is at the spot. जिसको हम अपने उर्दू में कहते हैं कि भाई उस हाथ दे उस हाथ ले उसी वक्त ये मामला करो. So one type of sale is this one. And this sale is known in Arabic or in Urdu that mu'ajjal. Musa, are you here? And one student from Afghanistan. Okay. The second one is that subject, sorry. That subject matter is delivered at the spot, but price is deferred. Price is deferred. That seller hand over the subject matter to the buyer, but buyer says that this time he doesn't have money, he will pay the price in future. So this is that he will pay the price in future, same as in our daily routine life. This is the sale, like the people who are salary people, they receive their salary and then they settle their accounts at the end of the month. So subject matter is delivered at the spot, but price is deferred. It is known as, this is bay mu'ajjal with ayn, and this is bay mu'ajjal. It is rooted from ajal, time. Here time is involved in price, so that is why this is known as bay mu'ajjal. It is also known as in English credit sale or sale on credit, and this is known as cash sale. Sale on cash, sale for cash. So everything is delivered at the spot. Okay. The third type is where that subject matter is delivered. Subject matter is, deferred, but price is paid in advance. This is the third type.
हम पहले एडवांस
Very good. Very good. So, as we said that in advance, when we call price is paid in advance, here both partial as well as full. Full advance payment and partial advance payment, both types will be considered under the subject, under the third part. So if there is a partial payments, it will be called Istisna contract. If it is full advance payment in the beginning, full advance payment, then it is called Salam contract. Not Salam, Salam. As Salam. Here it is by Istisna. Okay. The third one is that subject matter is subject matter and price or deferred. Sale of debt for is sale of debt for debt. It is also known in Arabic by الدين بالدين.
Yes, sir.
It is also known as بالكالي بالكالي. हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इस बै से मना फरमाया, अलकाली बिलकाली और या बै-उद्दैन बिद्दैन. So this is बै-उद्दैन बिद्दैन, sale of debt for debt. These are the 4 types of sales. In Sharia, the first 3 are allowed, permissible. The 4th one is not allowed. It is prohibited. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, himself prohibited this 4th one, and that is why in Islamic economic system, 4th one cannot be considered as a separate sale. If 2 people or the 2 parties meet and one say that I will give you my commodity for this price, and the other guy says that okay, I pay you does this price and I will get the subject matter from you. Islamic jurisprudence does not consider it as a sale. Yes, but it can be a promise. It can be a promise to this contract, but it will not be considered in legal term as a sale. तो पहली 3 टाइप्स जायज़ हैं और ये चौथी टाइप जो है ये जायज़ नहीं. Okay, let me define, before going to the topic, let me define one more thing. Any one of you can differentiate between debt and loan. Any liability that is generated as a result of any human activity is called debt. Any liability that is generated as a result of any human activity is called debt. For example, if someone broke some other guy's asset, now the law says a liability has been generated on the person who broke the asset of other guy. Now he is liable to pay the price of the asset. Now that price of the asset will be considered as debt. Let's say if
Sir, can you repeat
Mr.
करिएगा
A,
please?
if Mr. A broke the asset of asset of Mr. B, then Mr. A will be liable to pay the price of Mr. B's asset. The liability is generated as a result of Mr. A's got it? Then is debt. We will say that that price has become debt on Mr. A for Mr. B. Now, who is creditor and who is debtor in this case?
B is creditor and A is debtor.
Yes. Now, A is debtor. Okay. Come to the loan. Any type of borrowing is known as loan. Specifically in terms of cash. जब भी आप किसी से when you borrow cash, it will be considered loan. Later, it becomes debt.
सर इसमें हम कह सकते हैं कि लोन है, लोन इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ डेट.
Later, it becomes debt. Because what is loan? What is borrowing? Borrowing is actually human activity. A person borrowed money. It means that his action of borrowing. And as a result of his action of borrowing, a liability has been generated that he will pay back. So that is why the liability is generated as a result of human activity, or human action. So we will say that no, it becomes debt. That is the reason jurist says all type of loans are debt. All types of loans are called debt. But all debts are not emerged from loans. When we say that riba, which is also called interest, any stipulated additional amount over and above principal is known as riba. Any stipulated additional amount, stipulated means preconditioned. Now, when we say that, it covers both type of contracts. Any stipulated additional amount whether it is loan, whether it is in debt. In both cases, for example, take this example, Mr. B, then Mr. The price of asset, let's say here I write that worth is rupee 200. How much money will be debt upon the Mr. A?
200.
200. If Mr. B, at the time of negotiating or at the time it has been decided that the worth of the asset is 200, that Mr. A will pay 200 to Mr. B, now the 200 will be considered as principal amount at principal debt. If at this time or any other time, Mr. B put a condition that if you do not pay the 200 rupee in 15 days or 10 days, then you will pay me 210 rupee, then this additional 10 rupee will be considered a riba. We will say that this additional amount is stipulated upon the debt. This stipulated amount is additional amount is stipulated upon the debt. So in this case, interest is applied upon the debt. And the other person, for example, after the 15 days, he could not pay, though Mr. B, he says that, okay, I give you 10 more days, but I also increase the price. Now you will give me 220 rupee. Sharia says that it is also riba. It is also riba. So when Sharia says that riba is prohibited on both debts and loan. And what is the example of loan? That at the time of at the time of lending, if lender put a condition that he will charge additional 20 rupee, 200 rupee, whatever, that will be considered a riba. So any stipulated additional amount over and above principal is known as riba. Okay, now come to the sale. What is a sale? We call it is pay. According to jurist, the definition is mubadilatul male bil mal. It is known as riba. Say it is mubadilatul mal. So exchange of asset for asset is called sale. Like barter sale or normal sale. Normal sale, one side is subject matter and it is versus cash. Gold, cash, gold, or silver. This is normal sale. As we go to the market and we pay the price and we buy something, it is known as a normal sale because we pay the price. So this is the price. This is the price. And the barter sale, for example, barter sale, goods versus goods. Gold versus gold. Silver versus silver. In this type, are gold versus silver. Both are cash. Nothing can be considered as goods, as a subject matter. Both are called prices. Both are prices. So that is why sale of these prices, gold for gold, silver for silver, gold for silver, silver for gold, these are known as a saraf. Saraf. इसको हम सरफ सेल कहते हैं, बैउ सरफ। ये जो आप जाते हैं ना बाजार में, सराफा बाजार, सराफा बाजार कौन सा बाजार होता है?
सर सोने की मार्केट, गोल्ड की, गोल्ड
सोने की
मार्केट।
मार्केट, गोल्ड की मार्केट, इसीलिए उसको सराफा कहते हैं। क्योंकि सरफ जो होता है वो जगह जहाँ पर गोल्ड और सिल्वर मिलता है। तो हम बार्टर सेल के अंदर एक होती है सेल गुड्स फॉर गुड्स की। अच्छा, फिर एक सेल होती है जिसको हम कहते हैं कि अदर गुड्स, अदर देन दी सिल्वर एंड। फॉर एग्जांपल, wheat versus wheat, barley versus salt, etc. ये भी बार्टर ट्रेड है। इसमें दोनों साइड पे गुड्स हैं। It depends upon parties which goods they consider as price and which goods they consider as subject matter. We call it mabi. अब इस now here wheat is and Mr. A says exchange give wheat, Mr. B also give him wheat, so they exchange wheats. So it depends upon them that which side of wheat will be considered price and which type of wheat will be considered, which side of considered subject matter. And same as barley and salt, there is no principle that barley will be price or the salt will be price. No, it totally depends upon the parties, and that at the time of writing the contract, which goods they consider as price and which goods they consider as subject matter. Are you clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about the barter sale, that goods for goods. And goods, but there are two possibilities: gold for silver, wheat for wheat. Okay. There is also third possibility, that gold or silver versus wheat, or barley, or salt, or dates, etc. Now you see that here, as one side there is a cash and the other side there is a goods. And here I also put here currency, whether it is paper currency or it is a metallic currency or everything. So here there is a law that all these three items will be considered as price, and these will be considered as subject matter or mobile. So there is a principle. Normal sale is this third one, that subject matter versus price. Because cash, gold, silver, everything is called this price. Okay. After this brief introduction with these terminologies and the differences, now it will be easy for you to understand the sale and the loans. Now I am coming to the main topic, that sale and loan. As you know, that sale is the exchange of goods for goods. Sale is an exchange of asset for asset. So what is the loan actually? The jurists initially consider loan as a sale. The jurists initially consider loan as a sale. They say that loan is actually, it is a sale. Not initially, sorry. The jurists consider loan as a sale, looking at its end, or conclusion. For example, how? Let's see. Mr. A to B, and we suppose that he is a lender and Mr. B is a borrower. Okay. He gave Mr. A 100 rupee to Mr. B. He handed over this 100 rupee, he handed over to Mr. B. Now, for example, here I do not say because the 100 rupee is a date. Let's say 1/1 and 2021. Now, it is 1/1/2022. After 1 year, Mr. Borrower B paid him 100 rupees. Okay, look at here. Jurist says that Mr. A gave him 100 rupee, and by the end, at the time of payback, Mr. Borrower B paid him 100 rupee. So this is exchange of 100 rupee for 100 rupee. This is exchange of so this is exchange of
100 rupees.
for 100 rupee. Now we can say that this is exchange of mal for mal, exchange of asset for asset. It is a mubadalatul mal bil mal, right here. That is why the jurist says that look, when we see sale and loan, so the loan is actually looking at the end result of loan. It is similar to the sale contract because in this complete contract, initially Mr. A gave him his asset, and by the end, Mr. B gave his asset. So it is exchange of mal for mal, exchange of 100 rupee for 100 rupee, exchange of one credit to another credit. So it is also sale. Are you clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, the scholars also say that at the time, initial time, in 21, when Mr. Lender gave him 100 rupee to Mr. B, so Mr. A gave him 100 rupee, this, and he took nothing, from Mr. B for complete 1 year. Mr. A gave him 100 rupee to B, and he did not take anything for 1 year. So that is why they consider the loan. That is why the jurists consider is as the contract of good deeds. It is known as the term is known as aqd tabarru. Aqd tabarru mean the contract of charity, you can say, the contract of gratuitous contract. It is known as gratuitous contract, the contract in which he did not charge anything. So the loan, initially it is gratuitous contract, Initially, I'm repeating again and again. Loan. Initially, it is a gratuitous contract, and by end, it is a sale. And by end, it is a sale. By end, it is a sale contract. So that is why the jurists consider loan contract as a sale.